looking at the white cards for Strixhaven, starting with the commons. Guiding Voice, single white for a sorcery. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and learn.
Have you ever watched Star Trek: The Next Generation, Ethan?
I have quite a bit, actually.
Doesn't it remind you of Riker a little bit?
Oh, yeah. It's Riker and Deanna's mom. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So this card is pretty interesting. So, I almost feel like we should have started with Star Pupil.
We can start with Star Pupil if you want.
No, let's talk about we'll get to that in a second. But, like, this is, we've been talking about this card the entire set, Star Pupil, and it's just a card to, where you want to put your counters. I think this card is better than it looks. It's just like a little mini aura that draws you a medium card, right?
Yes.
I don't think like this is very similar to a lot of the trinkety learn cards we've seen. I think it's gonna be a high pick, but you will play this some amount of the time. And like these trinkety learn cards, you'll know when you want to value them in the later half of the pack when you're like, oh, my like sideboard is actually quite good, right? My lesson board, right? So yeah, this is fine. This is a card you want in your aggressive decks. Probably don't want it in like your Lorehold decks.
No,
but
this is a black
even
card.
then, even in your Lorehold decks, I could see it just being a thing if you do have that big, lesson board. So I think it's just like this is a synergy C basically.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just start C- on the card.
Sure.
But I like it quite a bit. So my grade belies the my feeling about it.
Ethan, will you do the honors of
Star Pupil, single white for a 0/0 human wizard. Star Pupil enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, you put its counters on target creature you control.
Ooh, baby. Yeah. So, it doesn't take much for me to level 1 drop, but this one's good. This one is quite good.
How good your Silver Quill deck is directly proportional to the number of Star Pupils you have.
Yeah, there's just so many things that put counters on your creatures for cheap. And so if you just have like 4 of these, like you really want to, 4 is a lot, but like you really want to start the game with this on the battlefield.
Well, you play this into and you play this into another one. Mm-hmm. What the heck are they going to do? You're like, okay, so I kill one, and then now the other one is bigger, and now when that one dies, it goes somewhere else. Like, this is a C+.
I wonder if this will be the set. Finally.
Where everybody knows.
The 1 drops from the get-go. But we'll see.
Yeah.
What do you want to give this one?
I'm going C+.
C+? Yeah. I love it.
Is this the best white common? Probably.
Yeah, I think probably. You have to temper that a bit because the monocolored commons are going to be definitely worse than the gold commons. But yeah. Next up, we have Ageless Guardian. So this is 1 and a white or a 1/4.
But it's got types, baby. So
it's got types.
Spirit matters quite a bit in this set. So, and I believe again, like this is just a red, white, gold card, but this like. The deck that I want to draft Lorehold as, this is awesome because that deck still cares about spirits. I don't know. This is still like just a C or whatever. It's no Star Pupil.
Yeah, this is probably one of the better.
This card's good, and I do think 4 toughness is the magic number. So,
just to go back to Star Pupil for just a second, how much do you think your Lorehold decks ever want that card?
Basically never.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a more aggressive version of Lorehold. Probably, yeah. And then like that.
There probably is, but I don't think it does. I don't think it gets the support of buff the thing. So much of the incidental counters come from black.
Yeah. So, there's a few red things in there, but I agree.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got a Beaming Defiance. This is 1 and a white for an instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains hexproof until end of turn.
Sure. 2 mana is a lot more than 1 mana for a trick like this.
Yeah, it is, for sure. It is interesting, though, that we have, like, the black one and this one as, like, cheap protection spells. You're right, though. This is much worse than a 1 mana one, but I think that's what's going to kind of give Silver Quill a bit of legs, right? Like,
is the hexproof tricks?
The protection spells.
Yeah, that's very true.
You feel okay putting your counter card... Like, you load up on counters. And if you feel like it's advantageous for you to keep the creature around, use the trick. And if not, just put it on your other creature, right? That the cat thing dies, you load up your other thing. So, Yeah, I actually like this card. This is, I think, for a 2-man trick, you're asking for a lot, but I think this is a solid C.
C in Silver Quill, yeah.
Yeah.
Eager First Year. 1 and a white for a 2/2 with Magecraft. It gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird card. It's like very marginal bonus.
It has a fine 2 in Silver Quill, and I guess it's just a fine 2, but this is replaceable, I think. This is like a D.
Yes.
D+.
Yeah, this is like, I'm not excited about this. I hope to not have this card as my dewdrop of choice, you know? All right, next up, we've got Stonerise Spirit. So this is 1 and a white for a flying 1/2. Has 4 mana, exile a card from your graveyard. Target creature gains flying until end of turn.
I think this card's kind of good, personally.
So you're imagining this in which deck?
In red-white, I think more so than black-white. Because I think red-white has a decent amount of uncommons that make this, and even a red common that we'll see, that make this a 2/2 flyer for 2.
Yeah.
And in the mid-game, this just demands to be answered, or it's just going to win the game.
Yeah, if you're a Lorehold deck that's like doing the very late game stuff, like that's you're gonna win through like decking your opponent or whatever, that's one thing. But I think there is like that mid class of things of decks where you're like stalling at the board, and then once the board's stalled, it's like, all right, send the biggest thing in, send the biggest, send my big vigilance thing in, my vigilance menace creature, right? Doesn't block all that well.
No.
But I think that's okay, right? Also, this might even just be a good Silver Quill card. Let's put counters on it, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
get
true.
flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is decent. Still just a C.
I think I'm gonna give it a C.
Yeah, sweet.
Study Break. 1 and a white for an instant. Tap up to 2 target creatures and learn.
Yep, I like this one.
Yeah. I think white is like the least interested in learning. It's kind of my feeling, but maybe not. I'm a little hesitant about this card for some reason. Because the front half of this isn't actually worth a card, and a lot of the lessons aren't actually worth a card, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm a little hesitant about this card, but maybe it just does enough work in an aggro deck that it's good.
I do think so. Like it approximates a card, if not a card. Like I think the tap effect plus whatever marginal effect you get, that's worth the card, right? Just the tempo you gain, the life gain, if it's like tapping down 2 attackers, like this tap down 2 creatures has traditionally been much better than it looks. There's on every card almost it says it's instant 2 mana tap down 2 creatures. Moments, not what's it called? There's one from like original Innistrad. There's one from Shadows over Innistrad. There's another one I can't exactly remember, but every time we've seen this, it's been a little bit better than it looks, right? And they've all had these like riders on it of like some sort of card advantage mechanic on it. So I think this card is actually pretty decent.
All right, what do you give it?
Still just a C. Like this is again gonna be one of the like trinkety. Yeah, I'll play this if I have good learn stuff. And you're gonna want it when you have good learn stuff, but it's gonna be good there.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty interchangeable, I think, with a lot of the other learn trinkety cards. All right, next up, we got Expel. 2 and a white for an instant. Exile target tap creature.
Iron Verdict. How far we've come. This is fine. These effects, like, again, the problems with this card, especially with thinking about Silver Quill as an aggro deck, like your aggro decks don't want to play this as removal. And so then this is in red white, and this is fine. I'm sort of off of these effects these days.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit better than these usually are. I'm not super excited about it, but I think it's a little bit better considering, you can still get like combat blowouts, exiles Silver Quill stuff, and exiles Lorehold stuff, if that matters. Exiles Witherbloom stuff. Like the exile actually is maybe a little bit more relevant than we're giving it credit for.
Sure.
Right? All that being said, like all of the monocolored removal spells, like you should just see as like fine cards if you really need removal. A lot of your removal you're getting from your gold cards, basically.
Yeah.
Right? This is second rate. This is like a C.
I agree.
Did you want to go lower than that, or?
No, I'll start. The first one probably is a C. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pilgrim of the Ages is 2 and a white for a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. then shuffle, and you can pay 6 to return Pilgrim of the Ages from your graveyard to your hand.
I kind of like this
I do
card.
too. This card is good in Lorehold, man. This is good.
So it's there's the Civic Wayfinder, whatever kind of card. So like obviously this doesn't fix you.
No, but
and that's
still.
a lot of the value of that card. But still, yeah, like this is a card in the late game that can come back and trigger all of your leaves the graveyard stuff, right? I think this card's actually pretty decent. I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually just a lot better than it looks.
This is probably like a C+.
I'm gonna start this as a C+.
Yeah.
I think this card looks very strange, but I think it's good. All right, next up here we've got Combat Professor. It's a 3 and a white for a 2/3 flyer. The beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0 and vigilance.
This is a really good card.
Yeah, it's pretty. I think it's decent.
All right, chat. Can we just plot decent on the XY axis here?
Like, I think it's C.
I think it's a C+. This is exactly what I want for my 4-drops, to be able to enable attacks the turn it comes into play, and then also this is a 3/3 vigilance on attacks.
So we're gonna get the Phantom Monsters. Is how good is Phantom Monster conversation going again?
I don't know. Do we? If you want to, we can.
I don't know. I just don't think that's all that much of an exciting card.
But it's better than that.
It's a little bit better for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's still just a 3. Oh, sorry, a C.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I understand it's better than Phantom Monster, and I could be underrating it for sure. But like the baseline of this card does not excite me all that much.
Yeah.
All right. Best of one, Bob.
Defend the campus. 3 and white for an instant. Choose one creature you control. Get +1/+1 until end of turn. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater at instant speed. This is fine.
Salesman persona turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about this card really.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Yeah. This is like a D. Because
like
the deck that wants it is Silver Quill, and Silver Quill has a better one, the one that gives 2 counters, and then
there's also just like not that many 4-power creatures in this set. Like,
I mean, stuff can get big. There's
things
tokens.
Can get big. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say never, but yeah, I don't think
this is not good.
This one though I think is pretty decent. So this is Pillar Drop Rescuers. This is 4 and a white for a 2/2 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, return to a creature card with mana value 3 or less from your grave to your hand.
I'm not really that into this, personally.
Not into it?
I don't know. I guess, if I've got some of the good, like, uncommon... Like, if I've got my... But it's awkward because the red-white one here is... The Quintorius is like a 5-drop or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. 5 mana 2/2 flyer, it doesn't even bring the thing into play.
Brings back your Star Pupil.
My Star Pupil ain't that great on turn 6.
No, that's true. There are quite a few, like we've been saying, there's been a few utility creatures too.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one is a decent top end card. Like again, it's like
it's
a playable
C, right?
5-drop. Yeah, it's a C, but it's a decent, like, you're gonna be pretty happy with it.
All right, first uncommon.
Shepherd of the Cosmos. This is not exactly.
No. All right, first uncommon here is Clever Lumimancer. Single white 0/1 Magecraft. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
I don't think this is a 1-drop I'm interested in.
Yeah, we make the Legak comparison. We can make the Akum Hellhound comparison.
Right.
This is. I usually don't like to give things Fs that have power and toughness. This is an F in my mind.
I'm gonna be a little bit more generous with it. I think it's like a D+, but yeah, I understand. I understand.
Can you describe to me, like, there's no deck that you want this in?
I don't think that's true. So like isn't it? So if our Silver Quill decks are just like have all these pump spells and have all these like augmenting things, isn't this just decent?
I don't think so. Because I think those decks want more. I think those decks are pretty high creature counts, personally.
You
You need your aggro decks to have high creature counts, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's more to this card than we're seeing right now. Basically,
Okay.
I think it is decent. I think I'm gonna give it a D plus just because like, I think it's in the sense that like it's pretty narrow in its applications.
What's Detention Vortex?
Yeah, so it's a single mana for an enchantment aura. Enchant non-land permanent. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. 3 mana. This is not good. Destroy Detention Vortex. Only your opponents may activate this ability, and only as a sorcery.
Yikes.
So this reads to me as like a niche constructed sideboard card for like a mono white deck. Is like the paying 3 mana is actually a large cost in limited. Like even in your most aggressive silver cool decks, there will be like I can construct turns where it's like, oh, that was really good. Get that thing out of the way. They have to pay 3 mana, and I'm still developing my board. Like, I do not think this is a 0, but I also don't think you should put this in your deck.
Yeah, I think this is bad.
There's a little part of me that wants to not give it an F. But
you don't like giving Fs. You don't give Fs.
I don't. I really don't, because I think like when's the last time a card was truly unplayable, right?
Oh, here we have one right here.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time a card was truly unplayable? Ravens whatever. Raven form, Wither Crown, Dogged Pursuit.
We at least had discussions about those, and those were like kind of like, oh, there might be a place for that, you know?
Yeah. Open the Omen Paths, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a D minus. Just to get that little glimmer of light in there for the card.
Stonebinder's Familiar. Single white 1/1. Whenever one or more cards are put into exile during your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Stonebinder's Familiar, and you can only trigger it once each turn.
This one's got a lot of safety valves on it. One or more on your turn, only once per turn. You know, yeah. I think this is pretty decent. So this reminds me a lot of Thoughtbound Phantasm from Guilds of Ravnica, the blue 2/2 that slowly grew when you did the stuff you wanted to do in the deck. I think it's a little bit worse, but it can attack right away. I don't have a great feel of like how often this is triggering is the thing, right? And I think probably not that often would be my guess.
Oh, I don't know. I think
it's worth noting it's not just your stuff, right? Like you can exile their stuff with the white black card or expel. I think this is a reasonable card. You just have to have enough, like a density of things in your deck that will trigger this eventually, right?
Red white, I think can get there.
Yeah, no, I do too. I think it's like a synergy C plus, basically.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah, this will most likely wheel, right? This is a card that's gonna wheel most. It's very finicky, and it's also like got a lot of words, so people might not want to read the whole card. So
got Professor of Symbology next.
Yeah, we got 1 and a white for a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, you'll learn.
Yeah, this card's great.
Yeah, this one's good. It's Immersturm Raider, but it got a big upgrade.
Big upgrade, yeah.
Yeah.
Like B minus, I think.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of the better learn cards where it's like, yeah, this is like a totally solid. You know, obviously we're not putting 2 mana 2/1 in our deck most times, but I'm happy with that card and it's fun. So yeah, I like it.
Show of Confidence is next. 1 and a white for an instant. When you cast the spell, copy it for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies. You put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains vigilance until end of turn.
Interesting. Yeah, Weird Storm. So how many? So if let's just say you get this twice, and it's like you cast, I don't know, what's even like a cheap silver quill thing you want to cast?
The like single white, put a counter on a thing.
Oh, true. And then you get to spread it right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you'll play it probably. this is I think it's like a C minus D plus.
I think so too, but I could see this like being a little bit better than it looks. I'm gonna give it a C for now. But yeah, I think I don't have like
really high to me.
I don't have super high hopes for it, but I also think there's gonna be some like we just want to put counters on our creatures, right?
Yeah. But I think that makes the sorcery speed learn card better than this on average.
Yeah, that could be true.
Like that draws you a card. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, I about that. All right. Next up, we've got Thunderous Orator, 1 on white for a 2/2. Vigilance, and whenever Thunderous Orator attacks, it gains flying. If you control a creature with flying, Same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, and Trample.
Yeah, I think this is pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's really not hard to have like one of these things,
Yeah.
right? It's probably harder to have nothing, I would say, right?
This wears counters super well too.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. It does wear counters very well. B- on this one?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if you put a counter on this.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, this is just the thing you... this is just the thing you want to augment, right?
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Reduce to memory, 1 white for a sorcery lesson. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token.
Yeah, this one's solid. It's Beast Within-ish. Yeah, I think this is another one you're going to want to take reasonably highly. Right? You can even, like... It cares about the things that care about exiling, which is only a few things, but... Yeah, I give this one also just like a... Do you like this better or worse than the one that has you sacrificing your own creature? The black one? Probably worse.
I think this is worse. Because I'm trying to think about what are the things I'm happy exiling on my side to upgrade to a 3/2. Seems like not a lot. But I still think it's just got to be good. I don't know. Maybe it's a C+. It's maybe not in the B range. But it feels like
I'll give it a C+.
Still got to be good.
All right, next up, we got Secret Rendezvous. This is 1 white for a sorcery. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. That's it. That's the card.
That's a no for me, Alex.
But I am confident that this one is an F. You should not play this card.
Yay!
Yeah.
Great. All right, last up here is our other +1/+1 counter creature lord. 3 white, or Dueling Coach. 3 white for a 2/2. When it ETBs, you put a counter on target creature, and you can pay 4 white to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it.
This is slow but powerful.
Yeah. It's so at its floor, it's a 3/3. It's a 4-mana 3/3 that can then grow itself.
Yes.
But at its ceiling, it like anthems your team.
This scales with how good your Silver Quill deck is, right? Like, if it's very good, this card's probably going to be good. I think this is a little bit clunky for my tastes. Like,
I'm personally in for this card.
Like, I guess even just going... So imagine you go, like, Star Pupil... And like you have like the 3-mana flyer, 3-mana flyer, and you play this on the flyer, and you're just growing your creatures each turn. Even
right, it just grows your pupils on their own. Like they don't need, like they already have counters.
Yeah, I'm a little. I still think it's a little clunky for my taste. I would probably still just give it a C+. Did you want to go higher than that?
No, C+ is fine.
Okay. Yeah, I just wonder if it's a bit slow is all.
Yeah.
You know. All right, we'll get to our first rare here for white. 1 white for a lesson. This is Academic Probation. Choose one. Choose a non-land card name. Opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name until your next turn, or choose target non-land permanent. Until your next turn, it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities cannot be activated.
I mean...
So
it's
you
a lesson,
something.
But again, this feels like the Planeswalker lesson that we saw, where it's like you're not in black, like you're not taking this highly, but it's fine to have.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine to have. I think early in the format, you're gonna have a lot of these bad-looking lessons going really late, right? Like this one, like the Planeswalker one. And I think this one's actually just like reasonably better than the Planeswalker one, because if you just like imagine casting Guiding Light and going get this and just saying like 2 mana, that thing can't block this turn or attack next turn.
People are asking how much better is this than Rummaging. Really, it's not about it being better or worse, it's about having the option.
Yeah, you just have more
options. Will know the times when it's better for you to rummage and when the times for you to detain a creature are better.
I guess the point I'm getting here is like the only opportunity cost for these cards is where you take them in the draft, and if you're getting them very, very late, this card's going to be quite good.
Yeah.
Right. So again, hard to put a grade on because like.
Right, it's not a good card.
You know,
like, this would never belong in your deck. This never makes so it's effectively an F, except that's not how you grade it because it's a lesson.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like basically, these lessons just like add. It's like you're spending a draft pick to add text to some of your cards, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Leonin Lightscribe is 1 and a white for a 2/2 with Magecraft. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn.
This one's really good.
Yeah.
This one's really good. Like, this is an A.
I don't think this is an A.
Don't think this is an A.
No.
This one's bonkers.
Okay.
What do you want to give it?
I mean, I think it feels like B+, but this isn't a bomb to me.
I think this is a bomb in the same way that Luminarch Aspirant was.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
I don't... But Luminarch Aspirant was just doing its thing on its own.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? Luminarch Aspirant is just like demanded to be answered with immediately. This does not demand to be answered with immediately. Though. It depends. There's not really... I don't know. I think Luminarch Aspirant is much better than this card, personally.
Yeah, we'll see. I think this has... I'm not saying it's better or worse necessarily, but it has those vibes.
So you're going just full A for this card.
I think just full A, yeah.
All right, what's next?
All right, next up, we got Strict Proctor, 1 and a white for a 1/3 flyer. Whenever a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability to trigger, counter that ability unless its controller pays 2. This is symmetrical and very awkward, and maybe if you don't have any enter the battlefield effects, it's just like a fine card. But generally, no. This doesn't like counter the Lorehold, the Silvercool cards because they just enter with.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like an ETB.
Yeah, this seems not good to me.
Yeah, this is like a D+. Like where you would take Hushbringer or whatever.
Right.
Like sometimes you play that, but mostly no.
Elite Spellbinder is 2 and a white. Oh, it's Paulo. 2 and a white for a 3/1 flyer. When ETBs look at target opponent's hand, you may exile an on-land card from it for as long as that card remains exiled. Its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast.
Yeah, so the easy way to think about this card, if you haven't seen it before, is just it enters, you look at their hand, that spell costs 2 more now. Like, just put it on the card, basically. Yeah. Right? Put that, add 2 mana to the card. It's good. It's quite good, right? Like, you get a 3/1 flyer, which is, a good body, and you get to disrupt probably their next play, right? Like, if you cast this, disrupt their 4-drop or whatever, you probably have to cast a lesser card.
Yeah, it seems like a B to me, personally.
Yeah, I like it. B to me as well.
All
right.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Mavinda, Student's Advocate. It's 2 and a white for a 2/3 flyer. Has a weird ability, 0. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. If that spell doesn't target a creature you control, it costs 8 more to cast this way. And if the spell would be put in your graveyard, exile instead, activate this only once per turn. So basically, if you have a combat trick or one of the Silvercool cards that, targets things, Guiding Light, whatever, you can recast that, which is really good value.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, if the game goes super long, or maybe you're splashing this in Prismari or something, you can cast, removal spells, cheap removal spells for a ton of mana.
Plus, it's a 3 mana 2/3 flyer.
Yeah, love it. I think it's quite good. It's more of a Silvercool card than a Lorehold card, but not a Lorehold card,
Right.
So, yeah, I think solid B.
Yeah, solid B for me as well. Sparring Regimen is 2 and white for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you learn, and whenever you attack, you put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature and untap it.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, this plays right into nice top end card for Silverquill, even just for Lorehold. Put it on a cheap flyer, the 1/2 bird. Yeah, this card's quite good. Even if this didn't have learn, this card would be good.
Right, that's what I was thinking. There are some decks where just learn, without learn, this is very good, and then with it, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. So I think
B+.
Yeah, I think so. Just it's you draw a card off of it, or you
Right.
rummage it at worst, you know.
Right. Where like there are some if this card didn't have learn on it, then there are fail cases where like this just doesn't do.
Right.
Though the creature has vigilance, so it's not like you can attack with a little flyer maybe,
Yeah, exactly.
even while you're behind.
Yeah, even attack your star pupil. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Next card up we have is Semester's End. So this is 3 and a white for an instant. Exile any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of your next end step, return them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature, or a loyalty counter if it's a planeswalker. It's like a weird. Yeah, it's just weird. It's not very good.
No, I don't think so.
No, there's like you're gonna be happy when they like target your thing, and actually, it's not the worst to like target. They target your thing, you blink it, and everything else out. Everything comes back bigger, but you're gonna have tokens lying around that exiles those. It's not like it's any number. You have to exile your tokens. So yeah, I'm pretty out on this card. I think it's like a sideboard card, really, like D+ in the main.
Yeah, I think sideboard sounds good to me for Semester's End.
Last one here.
Devastating Mastery, 2 quad white. You can pay 2 white rather than pay the spell's mana cost. If 2 white was paid, an opponent chooses up to 2 non-land permanents they control and returns them to their owner's hand, and destroy all non-land permanents.
Oh, just to correct a mistake I had. It is choose any number so you don't have to exile your tokens.
Yeah.
On Semester's End. Yeah. Devastating Mastery here is basically planar cleansing with like you're never paying that alternative cost. It's just really painful to do so.
Yeah.
Like them picking up 2 non-land permanents, like it just negates the effectiveness of a Wrath, basically.
6 mana is a lot. Quad white is a lot. White black doesn't want this a lot. I don't know. I'm not into this.
Yeah, 6 mana Wraths are like whatever. Right? Could take it or leave it. Like Blood on the Snow, if you couldn't snow it, was fine, but not great, right? Like if you couldn't bring something back. So yeah, I'm pretty out on this. This is like a C.
Yeah, C sounds fine to me. And that is gonna do it for white.